A unique horror adventure. That is what it's called. Okay. There's a manual. Oh no. There is a should I use headphones? Hello and welcome to. Am I live? There it is. I was like confused there. Gotta listen. Hello, check. Should I use headphones? Hello and I mean, it sounds a lot better. I gotta say that. So two things. First off, continuously upgrading my desk and desk setup. It's going magnificently. Although that gives me a lot more ideas now. The other thing is, I mean, let me think. First off, sorry if you can hear a fan in the background. It is extremely warm today, and I need a fan, even though it's not continuously hitting me, which I wish it was. But I'm having it not because I needed to move air around, but also I don't want it to be hitting the microphone the whole time. I gotta sit up straight. That's another tip for everyone. Some things that I did. First off, my microphone is closer. It's louder. I think it sounds much better than it did on the first couple of days. It's not as quiet. I have obviously I'm using a green screen, so there is that. Sorry. Gotta check something. Fantastic. Quickly check. Okay, fantastic. Green screen is better placed. There is, I don't know. I've been streaming on and off for so many years, and I've always used a green screen, but the distance, I would usually have a good distance between, the back of my chair and the green screen. Usually because I had the space to put up a green screen. Now that is not so much the case, and it has become a lot more difficult to move and set up the green screen. So I've been dealing with that. Monitors, I've always used dual monitors. That's always been the case, but I've always had like one slightly larger one and then a much tinier one. But now they're both 32 inches, I believe. They're 32, but one is slightly wider. But that's besides the point. They're much larger, and so the desk setup is always changing. I did have it in a vertical orientation before, but and honestly, I did like it. I preferred it that way. But I currently set it back to a horizontal position, so it's a portrait mode, and there's a lot more real estate. I gotta turn all the way this way just to like really feel comfortable looking all the way over there. I could make a quick glance, but then I feel like I'm looking too far away from the camera. So I'm contemplating moving either the camera or the monitor from one side to the other. So that would require me swapping the PC. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Sit up straight, guys. Sit up straight. Why? I really. Well, I don't really care for that part, but same with I think the last couple of days, my camera quality, I think it looks fine. I think it looks nice. I like it, but it had this like very it was just very bright. I don't know, but like it would just really highlight the highlights. So I didn't like that. I was so I'm looking through this game. In fact, going to be 43. The original resolution was going to be 43 by 32, only until my wife wisely convinced me to beef up the resolution to what you see now, a hardy 480 by 320 with a quadruple scaled pixel, making it actually 120 by 80 or running at a lower resolution than a Game Boy. Though I wanted to make it simple and modern, it's truly an homage to computer games on the 80s and 90s, the ones that made you think about them more when you weren't playing them than when you were. If anything, I hope you enjoy Home because it's asks you to meet it half. Sorry. If anything, I hope you enjoy Home because it asks you to meet it halfway in order to get the most out of it. I think all the games are so much better when you are truly invested in them. Thanks for playing, B. So I'm reading the manual, and what's really funny and interesting is under the installing the game, there is this creepy code here. Watch, I think is what it says. These are, I'm pretty sure these are notes. 00000. He equals turn 012 WMP3 U and bracket break. Align ES equals, and if Y something, I feel like it's supposed to be much larger, or it's classified. I should show it, but if maybe it's part of the game. I think I am gonna go. Nah, I'm not gonna go headset. It's just I'm not gonna bother with headset right now. I feel like I'm always talking so loudly. I didn't know that this game came out on. It came out on PS4. That is interesting. Congratulations, my guy. All right, I'm opening the game right now. Oh God, that was so bright. Is it this one? Your game will be saved automatically at certain points. However, we recommend you put aside an hour and a half and complete Home in a single sitting. Yep. That's what I will be doing. Turn up the sound, turn off the lights. I can't necessarily do that. If anything, I want to turn down the audio. And I can't turn off the lights because I need them. All I remembered at that point was finding myself alone. I am playing... Oh. My head. Where was I? It was so dark. Did I just blink? Is this first person? There was something by my feet. A flashlight. Can I... Oh, it's point and click. Oh, that's so cool. I would like to... Okay. So, I guess we're going to be playing it in full screen. That's totally fine. I'm just worried that it's not going to show... Is it? Oh, you can totally hear my fan in the background. I am so sorry about that. And you can also hear the game. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to turn on my microphone. Okay. So my question is, how do I sound now? Hello, check. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to turn on my microphone. Whoa, what happened? Okay. So my question is, how do I sound now? Hello, check. 1, 2, 3. I feel so, I don't know. It kind of sounds like I lowered my volume. Also, this game is just so loud. I mean, all games are loud when you first open them. I'm going to put this down to 50, 45. So my question is, how do I sound now? Okay. I don't know what's up with that. Let's play. God, it's so hot. Oh, you can right click? Okay. That house. Where was I? I don't know. Oh god. There was a body lying on the floor. Who was it? I didn't recognize his face. He was still kind of warm. Okay. Well, see ya. Mother frick, that's so loud. Are you kidding? That's not scary. That just... Sure, let's go through this door. I guess you can click on stuff. You don't have to right click. I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How did I hurt my leg, I wondered. All I could really recall was coming home seeing Rachel. I was upset. She looked afraid. I shook my head and I tried to clear it. I knew I should head downstairs, try to find a way out. What? Oh, he's saying that a shelf was full of books on local history and hunting. Seemed like the owner of the house really knew the area. Okay. Interesting. An old dining table covered in dirty dishes for 2 people. There were dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles among the dishes. The smell was turning my stomach. Okay. This is a very, a black and white photo. I look like the man upstairs and his wife. I guess there was no reason for me to keep this. Did I take it? Yes. I slipped the photo into my pocket. Maybe this would help me find some answers. Is there anything else? No? Okay. Interesting. Lots of talking. Nothing wrong with that. I'm always down to talk. What is that? So it looks like we could continue going further downstairs. A thin gray mouse was stuck in a trap. It looked frantic but exhausted. Did I free it? Yes. Okay. I'm gonna try to do but I'm gonna play this normally, obviously. But I will be also getting 100% on the game. There's a couple achievements. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna hide because I keep accidentally showing like friends and stuff on here. Alrighty, so here are the achievements. Cause and effect. So there's a total of 12 achievements. Supposedly you can beat this game in about an hour and 30 minutes, but I don't know if it's completionist also. So we will work on these after. For right now, let's just focus on playing the game. A collection of rusty tools. These look like they'd seen a lot of use and were caked in damp smelling dirt. Why weren't they in a shed? Agreed. A photo similar to the one I picked up. It had been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind it. Did I push the switch? Yes. It depressed smoothly into the wall. I heard a faraway click somewhere. Okay, well, let's go. Obviously, it is on the other side. I don't think it's upstairs, although I am tempted to go back upstairs to check the other side of the, Okay, right-clicking does do something. Clicking and being close must do something. Nope. Okay. How long had this been here? Rotting? The man upstairs didn't look like he'd been dead a long time. Huh. I'm gonna go back upstairs. See if there's anything. Wait. There were scribbles of all kinds on random scraps of paper and notes about some kind of water tower. Did he mean the one by the old train yard? Okay. That's nice. Head back upstairs. I need to check 2 things first off. I need to head this other direction. See if there's anything. Yep. Cool. Just want to see if there is a PC that does have a computer and some papers on it and a single drawer. I didn't want to snoop, but did I open the drawer? Yes. Receipts, pens, and a blurry photo look like a store of some kind. Why did this look so familiar? I really shouldn't have been going through this stuff. Getting my fingerprints everywhere. Oh god, is that blood? Blood on the wall. It smelled fresh and sickening. I realized there was blood on my shoes and pants. Oh man, I had to get out of there. Okay. What is this? Did I murder everyone? Let's go see if this body is still there. I don't know if this is a horror game or something. No, it's still there. Oh, did you see the, looks like there's a gunshot. Did I go to this door? Uh-oh. I did. Right? Yeah, this is where I woke up. Alright, sorry. I am a sucker for collectibles and just like checking every single room. So we did this floor already. Let's head downstairs. I looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn, and there was mud caked all over my shoes. Had I been sleepwalking again? Was that how I got to that house? What house? What? The bathroom was spotless. Everything had been wiped to a sheen. I wondered if it was the man's wife who did the cleaning for him. There was a photo development tray lying on the floor. Some leftover negatives were sticking out, but they were pretty blurry. I thought I saw what looked like treetops. It seemed odd that the tray had been left there, considering how clean the rest of the bathroom was. Can I pick it up? Nope. Okay. Is there a way to make this faster? Nope. Can I click on anything here? No? Okay. Well, I didn't mean to click on this guy. Sorry. It's a little weird having to maneuver through the game with the mouse. Usually, the front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. Okay. That scared the crap out of me. The door was taped up and seemed to be stuck. By the smell, I guessed it led to the kitchen. I gave the door a hard shove, and to my surprise, it cracked open. I thought it cracked. There were sheets of paper all over the kitchen table. It looked like a series of names were written down, but they were too smudged to read. I could only make out a few of the notes. Key card, locker, last one, I promise. It didn't make much sense at the time. Locker? No. Key card? I'm assuming, are those like extra words? The smell of old dishes and moldy was dizzying. Okay. Be kind and see the results. Oh, did he open the door for me? I just got an achievement. Did it show? I really hope it did, because... Well, I'm happy I got an achievement. Didn't mean to. The switch in the wall appeared to have unlocked the door. Well, how was I supposed to know that? We didn't check if the door was locked to begin with or not. Sorry, guys. I'm too good at games. I'm not going down just yet. Never mind. I am going down. The box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor. It obviously been moved before. Maybe I had found a way out. I must have moved it, right? Yes. I heaved the box forward and it finally gave. There was a ladder going underground where the box was. A dank smell rose from the passage. Did I climb down the ladder? Yes. I looked again at the photo I found in the house. The couple looked distant, like they didn't want to be in the same picture. I wondered where the wife was. My leg was in terrible shape, but I had to get out. Okay, really odd thought process there, but cool. Footprints in the dirt. Look like more than one kind and a lot of traffic. Bro, wasn't your, like, places all over were marked on the old map of the town, the industrial area near the river, various houses, and even the water tower near the old rail station. Newspaper clippings from the local paper. They were all about murders in town over the last few years. Wait, there were photos. Photos of our house. What the hell was that about? Maybe I should have looked around more, tried to find some kind of information. Oh, Rachel, please be okay. I wanted to rush home, but I had to find a way out first, and I needed to see what else was down there. Okay, I'll check that in about a second. Let me check this area. The guy upstairs must have done this, but what was his interest in the water tower? Some kind of marking? Markings match the scribbles I saw on the bookshelf upstairs. I'm trying to find out if this is like a murder mystery. Are we the murderer? Are they the murderer? Is this like a zombie apocalypse and like we are, I don't know, we got like some sort of amnesia? Okay, let me just skip through this. I want to see if there was more information on that. Like, I don't know, read the newspaper. A work table covered in papers, dirt, and a handgun. I hated guns. I didn't take it, did I? I'm gonna go... Let's say yes to everything for this playthrough. I tucked the small handgun into my pocket. Its weight was somewhat reassuring. Why did I take the gun? Okay. Am I going up or down? It was so dark down there, and the air smelled stale and putrid. I couldn't believe what I saw. What was this place? Okay. Some kind of homemade rack slung together with poorly cut wood and rope. It was caked with old blood. Somebody didn't actually use that, did they? The smell in that room was like old grease and rot. I wasn't getting any closer to finding anything useful. Rusted hooks like the kind you'd find in a butcher hung from the ceiling. They looked pitted and worn from heavy use. That man upstairs, did he do this? I was getting more nauseated the longer I stayed there. I felt sick and weak, like I hadn't eaten for days. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Oh god. The desk looked old and was caked with grime. On it was a stack of old faded paper covered with what looked like names. They were scratched out and eligible notes were written beside them in faded blue ink. I could only make out a few letters. Uh-oh. Wait. Heather? I was gonna say Ivy, but that doesn't make sense. Harley? That's not Rachel. This is, I don't know. And I don't know. These are names, I'm assuming. None of it made any sense to me. Okay. Nothing about Rachel or me was written. God, this guy. There. Maybe I needed to keep looking. Oh, there's a door. But wasn't there a door on the other side as well? Okay. Let's check this other door real quick. Although there's crudely made shelves. They looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I could still see the warnings. Okay. The slight... My green screen scared me. The slight fumes that still emanated from the cans made me dizzy. Okay. Anything there? That leads back downstairs. It looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coating the bottom. Something wet. Looks like blood to me. That place was getting worse all the time. I knew I had to keep moving. Okay, well, we will keep moving after we go into that room over there at the end of the hall. I had to check it. I do feel a little... First off, it's a pixel game, but it's still great. And I like this Resident Evil loading screen. Uh-oh. It looked to be bones, half dug into the ground, and the remains looked old. The faded clothes that stuck up among the dirt looked familiar. They looked like the clothes that woman was wearing in the photo I found. Was this the man's wife? I wondered what would I have found if I had dug deeper. Okay, yeah, we'll do that later. For right now, we gotta keep moving. I'm assuming he wants me to go pick up the shovel. Is there running in this? The answer is no. Hello? Is that a dude? Some kind of old boxes. They look like they were years old. Wait a minute. These boxes had old clothes in them. Clothes I remembered throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing here? Bro, dude, whatever that shadow is back there is scaring me. If I was scared before, I was terrified now. Why were there photos of our house there and these clothes? Was that why I was here? I checked my back pocket and realized my wallet was missing. Did I come to that house or did somebody bring me? Okay, I don't know, but I'm scared. I'm scared. That's nice. Give me 1 second. Alrighty. Resume game, please. I hear rats. Those aren't rats. Those are bats. We are gonna leave them there. I remember noticing the broken ladder I had to be careful. I don't remember if I jumped down there or found another way. It looked to be a long way. Did I jump down? Yes. Again, we're gonna say yes to everything. This all seems to be... Oh man, my leg hurts. I was limping even worse than before. I could hear some sort of faint humming noise up ahead. Okay, I mean, you're looking this way. These are little lights, yet they don't really appear. A bunch of old newspapers, wheat pasted together. A message had been hastily smeared on it. Keep out. Danger due to cave-in. I wanted nothing more than to get out of there. Okay, well, let's get out of here. The gun was heavy and uncomfortable in my pocket and didn't help ease the constant dull ache in my leg. I opened the metal door and was glad to have the slick, wet walls of those tunnels behind me. What was the man upstairs up to? What was he there? As the musty scent of those rock walls was replaced with an altogether different smell, I braced myself. Okay. An exposed ventilation shaft. Maybe someone crawled through there, but it was so high up that it must have been a sore landing. My leg ached just thinking about it. My guy, I think that was us. There was dirt on the ground. It looked wet, and there was grass smeared within it. Odd, there was similar dirt on my own shoes. My guy, I think you were in here. I could hear a faint trickling sound like water. What was that? It says exit. A kitchen knife covered in drying blood. Thinking about it made me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. Did I take the knife? Yes. I slipped the kitchen knife in my boot since I had the gun in my pocket. Did I really need all of this? Yes. The door was locked. There was a musty smell from the inside. Yeah, okay. Are they all locked? Sorry, I'm like... Okay. Whatever. I wasn't sure, but I thought it was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how it worked. Through the dust, I could see handprints from the previous use, probably from whoever worked in those sewers. Oh, look, a valve. I wasn't sure what those valves were for. Did I turn it anyways? Yes. Whatever these valves did, this one wasn't pumping water anymore. Oops. Let me go back and climb up. First off, let me check this door, whatever this exit door is. It is an exit door. Oh my god, freaking scared the crap out of me. There was a rusty ladder sunk into the water, which smelled disgusting. I knew I couldn't climb down that. Maybe I could find a way to drain the putrid water. Ah, that's what. What the hell? Oh. Okay, so the valves do that. Let me head back one more. Let me go up that ladder. Disgusting. It was a mess of filthy garbage bags. There were rips and tears in most of the bags. What looked like an old videotape was sticking out. Did I take the tape? Yes. I wasn't sure what I hoped to discover with the tape, but I took it anyways. I did not want to keep digging through this mess. Okay, fine, whatever. Jeez. Just say you don't want to play games with me. Yeah, I like how the limping. Is it worse? My character is limp? Okay, so we got the... It was this one. The first door was locked. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? Yes. The valve was still active. Did I turn it again? Yes. Looked like I turned off the water flow in this valve. Cool. It's a good thing I checked. Okay. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? Yes. The valve was still active. Did I turn it again? Yes. The valve was still active. Did I turn it again? Yes. There you go. Wait, just to check. Looked like I turned off the water flow in this valve. Okay, is there a door? No. Yes. Fantastic. Now we gotta go all the way back to the exit door. This is a little intense, stressful. What's the word I'm looking for right now? Cool. Thought I was about to jump off there for a second. Looked like the water drained out of that grate in the wall. What is up? Why does it do that? It's like stuck. Hello? It did that before. Did it freeze? Guys, oh my god, there was a small metal key left floating in the shallow pool. Yes. Oh, it's like off. I pocketed the small key, but it was oddly shaped. So like, you want to click on this, but instead you want to click below it. Okay. There's a door over here. Why would there be a door? Whatever. I wonder if the doors like that do exist. The safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was that facility? The faded paper was yellow and dusty, but there had obviously been wiped off recently. The door was locked. I could see a faint light within. The door was locked. I could see a faint light within. Yeah. Okay, come on. I want to go back to use this key, which I believe was I think it was like the second or third door or something, or the first door right over here. The door was locked. There was a musty smell from inside. Okay, well, never mind. Forget what I wanted to do. Clearly, I was wrong. have to spam the mouse button to get places. Up the ladder. Okay. Uh-oh. Found another dead body, a sewer worker. By the wounds all over his face and body, I figured he'd been stabbed repeatedly. There was a key ring sticking out of the man's pocket. Did I take it? Yes. I thought about the knife I had found with some disgust as I carefully picked the keys from his pocket. I was almost worried he was going to grab me. I was feeling even more sick from seeing another dead man. I didn't want to get any more blood on my clothes. Bro, I think you got blood on your hands. Uh-oh. There was a security camera in the room. There must have been a way to see what had happened. Maybe the VHS tape I found could be useful. Couldn't help but wonder if someone was watching me from the other side. Okay. I mean, at least we're not in like a creepy cave, right? There was a hint of fresh air here. I must have been near the end exit, but I wondered, what did the key I found on the sewer worker do? And what was on the videotape I found? Oh, let's go back. There's so many loading screens. I'm worried that... I'm not worried or scared or anything, but... I used the key ring to unlock the door. Okay. What did that other key do? The one that I got? The shelf full of security tapes was strictly organized, though covered in dust. Looked like the tape I found was the one that was missing on the shelf. I wonder what was on the tape and why it was thrown out. Okay. There was a dusty VCR on the security desk. I wonder what was on the tape, so I found it. I played the tape. Oh no, the video showed a man right there in the sewers being attacked. The tape looked fuzzy and stretched like somebody had tampered with it. It looked like there could have been two men. You think? I couldn't stand to watch that video again. Alrighty, let's go. Well, my question is, like, what did that other key do? Sorry, I'm like fidgeting because I'm scared. That was where the security guard was. This is where it was like, oh, this must have been the other end of that ventilation shaft. Whoever used it could have gone past that flooded room with this. Right. The climb up was slow thanks to my sore leg and the extra weight I was carrying. Would I really need that gun or that knife on my journey back, or had I taken them for some other purpose? The thought of that videotape still gave me chills. Who was it that didn't want to be seen, and what was in that locked room? I shook my head as I reached the top of the ladder and heaved at the latch above me. Suddenly, the awful smell of that sewer gave me the dank scent of pine trees. Wait, I want to go back down. Oh my god, there's eyeballs. Is it possible to go back down? Where did I emerge from? Locked door? Like, I literally went. The lid had fallen on the entrance. And it was stuck. Okay. Whatever. I had the key, and you saw me go back to try to use it, and it wouldn't work. Are we still in like a house or something? An old ladder leading up to an ancient water tower. The ladder needed to be extended so I could climb it. Did I extend the ladder? Yes. I popped the latch and brought the ladder down. Okay, let's climb up. Let's go. Supposedly there was something up here, right? Uh-oh. In a patch of smeared dirt and grass, there was a beat-up old wallet. I thought it was mine. Did I take it? Yes. I slid the filthy wallet into my back pocket. I noticed it didn't contain any kind of gun permit. In fact, it didn't contain any card or ID of any kind. I thought I should recover my credit card and driver's license at least. Did I put this up here, or was somebody else carrying it? That's interesting. Oh. From the railing, I could see over the woods and down to the entrance to the sewer. Had I come through here before? If I did, someone definitely could have seen me. Wait. It was getting cool up there, and I shivered with an uneasy sense of what was to come. How did I get home from here? What? I'm confused, because sometimes we're going from, like, present tense to almost a sense of, like, maybe a third person is speaking from our perspective. Or, obviously we're speaking in past tense, like, did I do that? We're already there? Where did I go? I tried the little key I had fished out of the murky puddle in the sewers. It fit, and I heaved the rusty door open. The wind was picking up a bit. The night air had becoming strangely chilly. Okay. So we did have to find that key to progress. Ah. Okay, that was a leaf. It kind of scared me. Look, a home. Is it mine? The old train station was quiet as a tomb. The only sound was that of the increasing wind buffeting the decrepit structure. Alrighty. Not worried. You're worried. Okay, I'm a little worried. Worried that I missed stuff. The ancient ticket booth was falling apart and covered in dust and grime. Stacks of paper lined the counter, faded remains of this old schedule and reports. Among the papers were newer looking sheets covered in scribbles and eligible notes. Eligible notes. Eligible? Come to think of it, the man in that house had kept similar scribbles hidden on his bookshelf, and he had notes on the water tower outside too. I guessed he could have been coming here, but why? What was he using this old station for? I couldn't be sure why the man had come to the station before, but it seemed obvious that he had. Great. Sorry, let me check something real quick. Great. I keep doing that. Okay. Am I carrying too much? I'm just kind of picking up everything I see. It didn't ask me if I could take the shovel unless I didn't click on it twice. I don't remember. It is interesting to get a little bit of like feedback or backstory, such as like the scribbles. I'm sorry. Why did I need to go back there and read that? An old map encased in glass hung on the wall. It was the train routes connected to that old station. As I looked at it, it seemed familiar. Of course, the map I found in those tunnels had similar locations marked, and the notes I found on the other man's bookshelf. His notes mentioned the water tower and even this train yard. What was he doing coming back here? The sorry condition of that place seemed sad somehow, but also ominous. Can I keep clicking? No. You see, it doesn't change. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm back outside. The old train was ripped open and hanging from a shred of metal, as well as the broken fence was a dark stained patch of clothes. It looked like synthetic, like some kind of outwear. Inside the train's shell, I could see a few faint impacts of, like, wounds? Could they have been bullet marks? Was somebody shot there? The ground was well worn, though I couldn't really make anything out. I realized I was touching the gun I had found as I thought. Can I keep checking and clicking on stuff? No. Can I go in? It was getting colder out there, and I had to keep moving. Okay, well, this doesn't lead anywhere else. That's it. Where's the synthetic thing you were talking about? Is there... Oh, sorry. I'll be honest. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I thought I had gone everywhere. We're back outside, and it doesn't lead anywhere. And we can't... Oh, we can go back. Are we supposed to be getting a lot more story? So, like, if I didn't fish that key out, we couldn't have gone here. Because technically... Okay, come on. Those eyes are creeping me out. Because, yeah, technically, this, we wouldn't be able to open unless we had the key. Jeez, that's loud. This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on that map I had seen. Whoever was poking around in those tunnels underneath that man's house had scribbled notes on this place, but I couldn't make them out. Here the sign pointed out various campsites and walk paths within the woods. It mentioned a river and maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded to see clearly. I almost wished I had paid more attention to those crazy scribblings. Maybe I would have been less nervous about entering that dark forest. You did read them, but you didn't want to. What is it? Oh, yeah, no, let's not do that. No. No. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. A dry old picnic table sat lonely amongst the trees. It had carvings and marks from years of previous campers. As I tried to read some of the names and the marks, I idly fumbled the knife I'd found. If I wanted to, I could have carved something on that table. Did I? Yes. With a few crude strokes, I etched a simple design into the wood. R+H. I felt like a teenager defacing the table. Well, aren't we all? The forest was split by the freezing river. It looked like the bottom was all rocks. My legs throbbed with the pain of jumping down that broken ladder. It was too dangerous to try to make it across in this state. I had to turn back. So would we be able to cross that river if I didn't jump down? But there's no other way. Okay, at least I won't need to like go through all the extra stuff, right? Trampled into the dirt and grass was a plastic heart of some kind. I brushed it off, and it was surprised to see it was my credit card. I wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Did I take my credit card back? Yes. I pocketed the credit card. Hopefully I could find my driver's license too. Okay. Through the fence I could see a dilapidated outbuilding. I wondered if I could find my way around. Oh, we can't go through. Okay, that's fine. And then another... Oh, okay. Well, there's a lot of ways around. There's 3 ways. Ooh, other stuff. I heard something. There was a fire pit there. It was still a bit warm, and a few embers still burned at the bottom. Was someone else out in the woods? Why did they abandon their campsite? 2 folded camping chairs were on the ground. One was knocked over. There were a couple of cans of beer spilled on the ground. Whoever was here left this place in a hurry, but why? The cheap dome tent slept 2 people. That was interesting. I showed my flashlight inside and could see some bedrolls, 2 backpacks, and a cooler. Felt like if I kept rooting through the campsite, someone would walk in on me. Do it anyways. Okay. And there's nothing. So we were in the middle. Let's go right. What is this? No, no, no. Is this the building that we saw? I can't tell. I don't think so. No, this is the bathroom. The grimy sink had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. There wasn't much in the way of clean water there, but the sink did work. My guy, there is someone in that. There was a damp smelling plank leaning against the stall door. I might have been able to cross the river with it. Did I take it? Yes. I managed to carry the plank under my arm so it didn't get in the way. Wait, is my character carrying the plank of wood? No. How do I get into... whatever. Yo, what was that? Was that just a thing? Okay. Oh, whoops. I can't tell if this was the building that he was speaking about earlier. We came from that one, but what's in this one? The sign was the same as the first one I had seen. This must have been the exit to the other side of the woods. I didn't know who was camping back there, but I couldn't bear to stick around to look for them. I just wanted to get out of there. Oh man, I'm like a little worried. I had finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. Okay, well, we don't want to leave just yet. We want to cross the river. I'm a little worried that the river is not a way. Okay, so we went to the far right one. This is where the campsite was. So let's go into the middle one. I want to see if there's anything here. No, the middle one was the one. Okay. So then what's the left one? Same thing? I don't like that. There were some personal effects shoved into the back of the rock. Wait, there was a notebook there too. Did I read it? Yes. Inside the cheap dollar store notebook was a page after worn page of names and lists. None of it made sense. The newest page contained several names. Yeah, this is it. Uh-oh, the last one. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel. Rachel, her name was the last on the list, and had a mark beside it in blue ink. The names Daphne and Olivia had been crossed out in the same blue ink. Cheryl, Heather, and Rose had also been crossed out, but these marks looked older and more faded. Uh-oh. We are going to go across that river with a plank of wood. If I remember how to get there. Honestly, I'm going off of like memory at this point. Well, I was right about one thing. The cold-looking river rushed by before me. The plank I found seemed safer than trying to hobble across on my own. Did I use it? Yes. Okay, cool. Two bodies, two young women were half dug into a hasty, shallow grave between the trees. The younger-looking one was still faced up, her dead eyes gleaming against my flashlight. They deserved better than that. Did I clean up the gravesite? Yes. I tried to cover them up a bit more, and I closed the young woman's eyes. I fashioned a crude marker. I wasn't sure why, but I felt I had to do something. The girls weren't carrying ID, so I couldn't determine their names. I only hoped that whoever had done this had done it quickly. I wondered now if they had a phone or something at their campsite. Maybe I could call for help. Okay, yep. So now we gotta go back to the campsite and see if they had a phone. I feel like, I don't know, that would have been a thing. Okay. There is clearly someone out here. Aw, a piece together what happened in the woods. Aw. Got an achievement. Let's go. The middle one and then to the far right. No. We go we go through this one and then to the far right? Yep. Okay. I am killing it. The inside of that tent was suffocating. Okay, well, was there a phone or not? Olivia, Daphne. How did I know the names? By the looks of it, the fire hadn't been extinguished. It just died out over time. Okay, so no phone is what you're telling me. Great. Alright, well, let's get out of here. They clearly didn't have a phone. How do I get back? I don't remember. Was it the left one? And I just keep... No, this is the one with the book, right? Yeah. I will admit this game is a little scary. This is the bathroom, and then here's the exit. Okay, let's go. Oof. 2 achievements. The forest started to thin out a bit, and through the trees I could make out parts of the town beyond and the first hints of light. The mysteries of that forest were behind me, but I could still feel them on my neck like a warm breath. Those girls had found someone had taken them from their campsite and had murdered them. Was it the same person who had left that odd notebook? I was even more eager to get somewhere safe and find a way to Rachel. I hate to tell you what happened to Rachel, but I can see the lights and then the city in the background. Is it me or is it getting darker? As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist. For all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. I think it's time for us to go. There's a door here. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. Old work clothes had been picked through, and a few photos and notes had been ripped off the door and spread around. Okay. Is this like a whole mission or extra thing? There was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, snacking off the other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear, and cobwebs had collected on the corners. The box wasn't receiving power. It didn't look like the power was on yet, so I want to turn the power on. The door was locked shut, and there was a little electronic box under the handle. A sign was pasted to the front door that said, "Danger, closed for repairs." Okay, it just says the same thing over again. While we're on the screen, let me just quickly check something. We are at about an hour. The door was locked tight. It seemed to be connected to the power box beside it. Okay, so we need to fix this factory stuff. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. Dude, I'm gonna need you to turn that light on just a little bit faster. The board contained yellowed clippings of newspaper cartoons, and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. Norman took over a general store after the factory closed. He, Rachel, and I would get lunch every now and then. Rachel liked him because he seemed more positive despite the setbacks. I don't think I could say the same about me. Oof. More stairs. Our old break table. The layer of dust and grime only made seeing this sting more. Odd, it seemed like some beer bottles had been used on the table recently. They weren't as dusty as the rest of it. I wonder what's up with that. Was it like the rustling noise or something in the background? Hey, we got power. A power panel. Looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Yes. Still looks off. The power panel still wasn't working. Did I try to push it again? Yes. Ow, that is so loud. The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped to the inside, but it wasn't scratched out, and the face was unrecognizable. That woman's photo. I knew I had to get back to Rachel to find what happened. Okay. Oh, another one. Yes. Cool. There's another door. It was shut tight. There was a rusty looking card slot in the side. Okay, so now we gotta look for a card. Be honest, I'm like worried. I'm gonna open the door and there's gonna be a bad guy there. The door had been hastily boarded up. Okay. Wasn't there a gunshot like one of the first levels? This was Norman's locker. The door was dented like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when we worked there. My head ached, and I recalled the last time Norman, Rachel, and I all had lunch together. Rachel seemed so more at ease when we all hung out. Another panel that I hoped could help me get the power back on. Did I push it? Yes. Cool. Wow, that is so loud. A utility shelf crammed with the mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Did I take the hammer? Yes. As I took the hammer, I noticed it wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf. Really? You think so? Okay. We'll go over one more before we head back. Oh. The locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Did I take it? Yes. I slipped the key card into my pocket. Am I carrying too much? Like, won't I need to do something? Another panel that I hope could help me get the power on. Did I switch it? Yes. It still wasn't turned on. Did I switch it again? Yes. Okay, what about this one? I'm like worried right now. Ah. That was interesting. I already took it. Okay. So we're gonna do two things. We're gonna open up the. It started like scary music. We're gonna open this boarded up door. I struck with the hammer. The old wooden boards came apart easily. After I had removed the plank, I left the hammer on the floor. Huh. Okay. This was my locker, there in the factory. It stank of booze. There was a picture of Rachel on the inside. It looked like it had been torn up. I thought I had taken that picture home when the factory closed. My guy, I hate to tell you this, but I think I know what happened. The floor was littered with old liquor bottles. I wondered if that man in the house had something to do with this. He sure had a lot of alcohol at his place. It reeked of the sour stench of leftover liquor. Okay. I don't know about the other women being murdered, but I have a feeling that maybe Rachel had a thing for Norman. For you. Was it this one that needed the key card? Because why would Rachel's photo be ripped up? The key card I found seemed like it would pass through this reader. Did I use a key card? Yes. I slid the card through the old reader and turned it in. Okay, that scared me. What the hell? Oh god, that scared me. So we're not gonna go through here just... What is this? There was some kind of ventilation hatch there. It looked like I could jump to the room below. I really didn't want to damage my leg anymore. Did I jump down? No. My leg hurt bad enough as it was. Maybe now that the power was on, I could find a way out downstairs. Okay. The door had somehow locked itself again. There was no keycard slot on this side. My guy, I am so sorry about your leg. My leg was shooting with pain. I wasn't going to be able to move too quickly on it. Damn it. What is this? There was a crumpled up letter on the floor. It had been scratched out heavily and it was hard to make out. Did I try to read the letters? Yes. Most of the letter was violently scratched out with what looked to be a ballpoint pen. All I could make out was need to, just don't, drinking, need Norman. Who was Norman writing to? No, I think you were writing about him. That room at the top of the plant, the one with all the bottles, it was really getting to me. Maybe I was just distracted. Who went up there and used that room? As I exited the factory, I didn't recognize where I was going. My head ached terribly and my leg was a mess. Oh no. Oh, we're moving. I swear I hear someone behind us. I'm a little sad because we missed some stuff back there. Anything on this side? Nope. Like, we missed the hole in the fence. And then obviously we missed the 2 doors on the first floor. The garbage bin was a disgusting mess of rotten food and slick black bags. I saw a thin greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. It was my driver's license. It looked damaged. Did I take it back? Yes. I cleaned the card off as best I could. It looked pretty beat up. I was amazed to have found my credit card and now this. I tucked the card into my wallet next to my credit card. Okay, well. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. Oh no. We gotta go home, guys. I had entered Norman's place. This was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet except for the faint sounds of a television. Yeah, we'll go upstairs in just a second. Maybe it's... The entrance to the front of the store was locked from the inside. It looked like I couldn't just pop it open. It needed a key. There was a bit of blood on the keyhole. I don't know if Norman's alive. Oh no, Norman is not alive. What was this? It looked like a pull chain hanging from the ceiling. I wondered where it led. Did I pull the chain? Yes. I gave the chain a single tug and a simple folding ladder to the attic popped open. Okay, cool. God, my Norman is dead. Oh no, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my coworker, and one of my few friends I had in this town, lay dead beside his armrest. His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been shot trying to get up. His eyes were still wide with shock. Norman, you deserved better than this. Did I close his eyes? Yes. I wasn't sure if I wanted to give him peace or if I just couldn't stand to think anymore about what was going on. Quickly, I closed Norman's eyes. go into the attic. Even though the TV still flickered some indecipherable channel. I couldn't make out what was on the screen, but that glow just gave me the chills. Is this a reference to like The Ring? Is it funny? Let's climb up. Let's see what happens. This is just the way back down. Is that Minecraft? No, it's just an X. Looked like a little creeper face for a second. There was a large cardboard box that hadn't been sealed. Did I open it? Yes. Inside the old cardboard box was a pile of clothes, photos, and even shoes. As I got closer, I realized they were Rachel's. What were you doing here, Rachel? Were you responsible for poor Norman downstairs? The items in the box only made my head spin more. I desperately needed answers. My guy, I think Rachel left you a long time ago. Or you were never with Rachel to begin with. Yeah, I mean, look. There's like flowers and stuff. Yes, tables. We love tables. I guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean, but there were water rings from 2 cups still there in the wood. I'd never been to Norman's place before. At least I didn't remember ever doing so. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig through that mess, did I? Yes. I found a hairpin amongst the rotting food and trash and pocketed it. Okay. Yo, you got any food, Norman? We won't be needing it. I mean, help a brother out. Let me get some food. I'm assuming we're gonna use the hairpin to lockpick the. Is there another side of the hallway? There is. Let's see what's on the other side. Hopefully not a hole that leads to nothing. I wasn't entirely surprised to find this there. It was one of Rachel's old fall coats. I always wonder what happened to it. How long had it been here? There was a little bit of something dark staining the sleeves. Inside the cabinet was a small but impressive collection of hunting rifles, shooting guns, and even a few items I didn't think were legal here. One of the slots on the rack was empty. The gun I had found seemed to match the others there. If the handgun was Norman's, what the hell was he doing with it? The gun would fit there. Did I place it back in the cabinet? Yes. I carefully pushed the piece back in place and felt a great burden lifted. Hey, and I got an achievement. Let's go. Norman, what were you doing with all of these? I mean, either we or Rachel did it. I'm unsure why. Something just feels off. I used the hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. Okay. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned foods. I never went through much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if we needed anything. The register was mostly empty, and a fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. Anything else? Were you thinking of going somewhere with Rachel, Norman? What? The icebox seemed to be unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. What was the matter? Norman cheated on your hydro bills too? What? There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of these postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in much better shape then. Of all the postcards, that one seemed to be the most popular. There were only a few left. Why did he say that? That sounded odd, didn't it? It'd been weeks since I'd last seen Norman, and finding him that way still made me feel cold. Thinking of him slumped against that chair only cemented my reassurance in getting rid of that gun. It looked like someone had taken that piece from his store, but why was it in those tunnels? As I stepped outside, I recalled that dusty old box of clothes in Norman's attic. I felt like I had only discovered more questions, no answers, but I was close to home. It was time to find the truth. I can't go back in? Of course not. At least it'll be a little bit. It'll be a little bit faster for if I were like to replay it and try to get 100%. I could probably do it pretty easily now that I know everything. Like I wouldn't need to go through the whole forest area, or at least all I would need to do is the neighbor's local postcard. A letter was sticking out as if someone hadn't pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but did I look at the letter? Yes. The envelope was addressed to Norman. There was no return address, but the handwriting looked familiar. I took a deep breath and tore open the package. Norman, I'm sending this to you in a letter because I'm afraid to tell you this in person. What we did, well, it was wrong. My husband isn't an easy man to be with, but he is my husband and your friend. I need some time to sort this out away from you both. I'm going away for a while. I'm going to tell him. Norman, so don't you think you can hold that against me. Maybe we'll work it out. I'm not sure I even want to, but he deserves at least that much. Goodbye. I think we know where that's from. I didn't know what to think. My mind was racing, my heart pounding. I had to get home. I just had to. My guy, I think we know what happened. I had the wrong gate. This was locked. Okay. No, 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 wait, go back. Wait, can I go back? Oh, dude, that's not funny. I saw blood at the end. I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. My guy. I see blood everywhere. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flicked the light switch by the door and power was on. The power was on or was off? Yes, you and freaking tables. I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday or sometime before? The table was clean. It hadn't been used anytime recently. The door to the basement was locked. Where had I put the damn key? Oh my god, dude. I gotta check this whole freaking house. What is this on the ground? There was a small pile of mail on the floor in front of the mail slot. How long had I been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card bill there too. Did I open it? Yes. I ripped the bill open and read it. To my surprise, it said something about canceling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? The front door was locked from inside. I couldn't go out, though I needed to see if Rachel was here. Yeah, you can unlock it. Have you heard of unlocking a door? Okay. I'm not sure what you're expecting. The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. I swear if I need to jump down to the basement, I'm going to be upset. What is this? I had found the last missing piece from my wallet, the old photo of Rachel, and I stared back at me, reminding me of a better times. It didn't make me feel terribly comfortable. Did I keep it anyways? Yes. I replaced the photo on my wallet, feeling like I had got part of my life back. Still, the image made me uneasy. Why had I thrown it away? Hey, recover the piece of your wallet. The pieces of your wallet. Our television. I had purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterwards, but by then it was too late. Rachel was pretty angry about that, I realized. Okay. Guys, I think we murdered everyone. No. We definitely murdered... No. What were we doing there? I'm still confused by that. Our hallway mirror had been smashed. Its pieces scattered around the floor. I couldn't really make myself out anymore. I wasn't sure I wanted to. Is there a door over here? The books there were half mine, half Rachel's. Hey, now that I looked more closely, it looked like the man in that house had some of the same books as I did. One book in particular seemed a bit odd. I remembered owning it, but not that edition. My wife's, Rachel's suitcase was sitting on the bed. It was closed, but I had a feeling what was in it. Did I open it? Yes. Rachel's suitcase contained clothes, toiletries, and a train ticket. Is this what you were going to do with Norman? Rachel, why? Were you really going to run away with Norman? Was I really such a monster? No, she... Was she gonna run away with Norman? I thought she was just going to, I thought she was upset about it all. And that she was gonna go alone. Yeah, wanna open this door? Close this door. Our sink, which needed to be replaced, one of the taps always stuck, but I hadn't gotten around to fixing it. Dude, my guy, you didn't get around to fixing a lot of things. That old house was charming for sure, but it wasn't always easy. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. It seemed impractical at times, but it was part of what made that house home. Toilet, use it. Nope, okay, that's fine. I didn't want to use the toilet anyways. Dude, you need a cast. My laptop had been left on and only had a tiny bit of power left. On the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key in the top drawer of my desk. Did I take it? Yes. I pocketed the key. The laptop was warm and had been running for a while. Seemed like we did everything in one single night and we just happened to forget everything. And we were drunk the whole time? Is that blood in the corner? I feel like every area is supposed to have... I unlocked the basement door. Every area is supposed to have like an achievement for completing what it is that you need to get done there. And so like some of the areas that I didn't get some stuff, I feel like I missed achievements there. So there were old Christmas decorations in the box. Yep, I couldn't even remember our last Christmas. Okay. The garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key here. Did I take it? Yes. I took the small key and tried to remember what it unlocked. Looked like there was a plaster and all the trowels in there. Okay. There were old clothes, tools, and other things we obviously hadn't thrown out yet. We had way too much junk. We had way too much junk. I'd put up this divider wall last summer so we could create a separate room in the basement. I hadn't finished it yet, so the door was stuck and the drywall was poorly installed. I might have been able to break through if I found something heavy enough. Wait, what? Bro, look for a heavy tool here. Something heavy? Okay, well we have to look for something heavy. No way was I going to walk away from this now. Okay, well, I meant to see if there maybe we had a what's it called? Let me check everything real quick. See if we have like an attic or something. Okay. I'm assuming we may have an attic. I just need to look for the string. Wait, was one of these doors locked? I don't remember. Oh, unlock the door. Okay, I forgot this is the door to that. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? No, I don't think so. There was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I need to take the crowbar? Yes. I lifted the heavy crowbar. I appreciated its weight. Nice. Okay. I could have sworn that this was a different type of game. Wait, give me 1 second, sorry. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Head back downstairs, head to the basement, and I'm assuming that's going to be game. So, sorry, I'm like fixing my neck here. Did I break through the wall with the crowbar? Yes. With a heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. This was it. Was Rachel down there? Was she okay? Don't look. Dude, you had this massive basement and don't look. A filthy looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful and made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile to see what lay within, but I knew I had to. I'd come this far. After all this searching, after all I had seen, when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? Yes. Oh no, my hands trembled as I pulled back the layers of clothes. There at the center, under all that dirt and mess, was my beloved, my Rachel. Her arms were bruised all over and slashed repeatedly. Her clothes were ripped and torn, and even through all that sickening blood, it was obvious she had been stabbed to death. The knife I had carried all this way suddenly seemed like a poison. What had happened to Rachel? Who did this to you? I thought about all I had seen and wondered if any of it could help me figure out who had done this. And when I couldn't stay there any longer, I stepped away on shaky legs and made my way back upstairs. Reluctantly exhausted from my journey, I could no longer resist the urge to close my eyes. I can't put this story together. Is this the beginning? Realize your worst fears. Maybe I would use some of Rachel's travel books and find some place to go. No matter what I needed, some kind of escape. Oh, okay. No matter what I needed some time. Okay. It was my wallet with its contents intact. Either I dropped that stuff or somebody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again, or maybe somebody stole it from me. Norman's store, that forest, the water tower. Was I at those places before? The game isn't over? No? I'm confused. Wait. Yes. I didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents. But what does that mean? Oh. Okay, no, the game isn't over. Okay. I thought for a second we were like going through a crisis. That was decided. Okay. We decide the game's story, but something still isn't making sense. This was the old photo of that other man and his wife, I assume. I found it in that house. I recalled those faded remains I had found deep underneath his house. What had he done there? Well, what did I think? Was that man involved in this whole mess somehow? Yes, definitely. Those tunnels, the odd tools in his house, and the remains of his wife. He wasn't innocent, that's for sure. Sure. I click on everything. The quiet in that room unnerved me terribly. Okay. Sorry, gotta set up straight. I still love the old-time charm of that claw-footed bathtub, though it seemed like cold comfort to then. Rachel loved this part of the house. Yo. I'm trying to piece this together, and it doesn't help that within the few broken pieces that remained of that mirror, I could see my face had grown pale and weak. I couldn't bear to look again. It was like I didn't actually expect a reflection. I felt empty and drained. Let's go to here. It was the key card I found in the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through that door. It seemed to me that it was probably Norman's, but if that was true, what was he doing back at the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? No. Yes? Something just... Why would he go back? He was upset. Someone punched his... Unless he punched it. And then someone went through our stuff, right? Sorry, I was like itching my ear. Again, I'm still fidgeting. Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? To drink? I'm gonna go with a no. No, somebody else was using that locker room, but who? Us. I would say. The laptop had finally run out of power. We'll plug it in. How long had it been left running? Probably like, I don't know, 2-3 hours? I'm surprised that, you know? Also, this isn't old-timey, like old times. This is like maybe 90s or 2000s because of the massive TV. Alright, let me check this room. What's here? It was the letter I had taken from the post box. Rachel, were you really having an affair with Norman? But why? I didn't think things were that bad. In the letter, Rachel seemed concerned. She almost seemed worried of what Norman might do. Did he do that to Rachel? I didn't think about that. What if Rachel... Sorry, not Rachel. What if it was Norman? What if Norman did everything? And we just happened to be there? No... Someone shot him. Was Norman just sleeping with everyone? So like this is what I'm thinking. Someone took Norman's gun. Now, obviously it's making us appear as if we took it because we went to go see him and then we shot him. And then for some reason went through the tower, the forest, the tower, and the tunnels, and the house. But I don't understand why he is involved. Also, clearly there was a murderer involved. I'm gonna go with a no on this one. Norman may have betrayed me, but I didn't think he was capable of that. I hated him. I hated him so much, but I couldn't blame him for what happened to my wife. From now on, I'd have no one to get angry with me for stupid things like buying this TV. Just thinking about things like that made me sick with grief. Yeah, that's probably not the best thing to think about. It's like thinking the better... not the basement. Let's walk around. The mail still sat there, heaped on the floor. How long had Rachel been lying in the basement? It seemed like that mail had been there for a while. Yes. You already said this. Okay, well, let's go to the basement. I couldn't go back down, not until I'd gone over everything. I needed to make sure I was perfectly clear. Oh. I forgot there was this door over here. safe. My old office safe sat on the floor. It used a digital passcode lock. Did I try to open it? The safe used an 8-digit code. What was that damn code again? I don't remember finding a code. But, let me look at the manual. Because the manual has a code. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 0, 4. Sorry, 0, 4, 1, 3, 12. It's an 8. 3, 1. Sorry, let me enter that. So 0, 4, 1, 3, 12, 3, 1. No, that wasn't it. Damn, I couldn't remember it. Well, can I try again? Okay. So on the manual, there is a piece of text. Watch 4R F1 get WMP3U break. He equals turn 012 align RI bit R3 if Y and then if yes equals N01 nobody is safe. And I'm assuming this is all code, right? But it's... What's 43 by 32? 43 times 32 is a 4-digit number, so that's not it either. Sorry, give me 1 second. I gotta check something. Should I look up? Well, here's the thing. I need to play the whole game again. I use a digital passcode lock. Did I try to open it? Yes. Let's just do. Yeah, how am I supposed to look this game up? It's so interesting that he named it Home. Home, a unique horror adventure digital safe. So only the people that purchased the only people that purchased this got it. Okay, so there's 2 codes. Sorry, I'm like cheating a little bit here. 418 321 85. Oh, well, here's the thing. I leafed through the notebook I had taken from the forest, and it were the names that had been written down. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel. Those poor girls were the victims of the same person who had killed Rachel. I wondered what happened to the other names on that list, or the ones scratched out on that desk in those wet tunnels. Okay, so maybe we're just making up the whole story in my head. What if we didn't do that? What if Rachel, either she did leave, but it's not like it wasn't on vacation because Norman was still here, and it sounded like this is lame that you can't open this without the code that potentially might come from. Like I can't tell. 4 3 3 1 8 2 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Well, 8. Okay, whatever. See ya. Where that code might be, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be like part of. Seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back into the basement. Maybe there wouldn't be anything for me to find, but I had to take a last look. Yeah. I'm still... Oh. If I was guilty, I couldn't take this to a warm, safe place to do something about it. Did I pick up the knife? Yes. Now that I stood there, I realized I couldn't go back into that room again. I had already seen too much. I needed to put an end to the situation one way or another. Okay. It seemed like that mail had been, yeah. Okay. What better place to do it than in the bathtub? Nope, one more floor. Really? A 3-story house? With how many rooms? He said, wait, he said a warm place? Let's go with yes. We're gonna do a playthrough where it is our fault. I had MRIs and piles of doctors' reports, but nothing seemed to help, not even drinking. But I swear I had tried to give it up. I know it. The sleepwalking never really went away, though. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me, even when everything was falling apart. This night had unearthed terrible truths, but I knew it was a final act of long-standing horror I'd been living. Waking up in that house tonight had the final cruelty. I wish I had remained unconscious in that room forever. It was obvious to me that the man I had found in that house had something to do with all of this. Could he have killed Rachel? It started to seem that there were too many things I had seen to think otherwise. After making it out of those tunnels, I thought those sewers might feel safer. I was wrong. The security tape I had watched showed someone being attacked by what looked like 2 people, but who was it that was attacked? Who was it? Oh, I didn't think I have found the contents of my wallet scattered throughout the town. Why the hell had I been out there? Had my sleepwalking gone to some new extreme? The thought that I couldn't account for my whereabouts, but knew I had been to that forest and even Norman's place, well, it was terrifying. I didn't know what that meant, but at least I had recovered my things. Hopefully, I thought that would cover my tracks, so I wouldn't be blamed for all of this. Even more troubling were those poor girls I had found in those terrible woods, half hidden in a shallow grave. Their secret deaths seemed like the ultimate defiling. If I hadn't found them, would anyone have done so? Would they have been missed? I vaguely recalled the desk I had seen in those tunnels, the names of etched there. Someone had killed those girls. Was it that man? Whatever had happened, I knew at least that Norman wasn't the one who kept going back to that factory. I hoped it meant that he had nothing to do with that guard's violent end. But who had been rooting through those lockers or drinking in that boarded up room? After the factory, I thought I might find some solace if I could just get to Norman's store, but all I had found were more horrors and more questions. Now that I really consider it, that's when I should have seen it coming. Norman, what were you and Rachel up to? It was obvious things were more complicated than I'd ever imagined. How long had you been going behind my back? More importantly, why, Norman? Whoever had killed Rachel had probably gone after you too. Maybe they knew about what you were up to. I would never know peace, Norman, but despite your transgressions, a part of me really did hope that you would. When I had marched through the rain towards home, I desperately clung to the hope that this would end. And I guess in a way it did, but how could I have known how hopeless it all was? I got started to feel as disoriented as when I sleepwalked to think of it now. I guess I should have known from the terrible silence that greeted me when I first stepped into our house and stood there in the kitchen. There was no sound of television, radio, even the air was still. But seeing Rachel there, lying ruined and discarded in the basement, that was a horror I could never have imagined. I didn't know if I'd ever find the answers I craved, but I knew that somehow that other man I had found was responsible for this. If not directly, he must have had a hand in Rachel's death. So what was I doing in that damned house of this? Had I found out? Had I killed him? My damn condition, it made it difficult to know. Memories and time frames were always a mess, and I could never be sure. Knowing that man was dead, though, was cold a comfort. My wife was gone, and no matter what happened to me now, I was lost forever. I put the knife down and drew a long, warm bath. Slipping into the tub, I was surprised with how calm I felt. I heard it was like going to sleep if you did it right, so I held my arms under the water as I made the incisions. Though the initial sting came as a shock, it was only a matter of minutes before I felt myself ebb and fade. After that, the room washed to a calming, comforting shade of gray. Sorry, that was me. Hello? Oh, okay. End your story in the bathroom. And we're gonna watch all of this, I think, but that was interesting. And extremely confusing. Something was up. First off, apparently our character has a condition of sleepwalking and not remembering things. So he theoretically could, if he wanted to, home is dedicated to my wife Nancy. Watch your back. The end. Funny. I would like to play again, but what we're almost at the 2-hour mark here. What are we? We are halfway through the achievement, so probably one more playthrough would get us the rest of the way. There's a couple of things. Oh, it looks like we may need 2 or 3 playthroughs, but I really like this game. This was really good. This it's just too difficult to figure out because we end up at that person's house, which seems too suspicious. They definitely are not good people, especially with that cave or ladder or whatever, and their wife buried in the basement. So something is definitely up with that guy, but I just can't put my finger on it, besides the fact that I think Norman was just sleeping with everyone, honestly. But it doesn't make sense. Not the sleeping part. He probably was. Because it doesn't make sense because Rachel's name is at the end of the list, right? So that means that someone was hunting her, but alongside hunting her, they were hunting all these other people, and then they just happened to be in the forest or whoever else is on there. So I think that homehorror.com. Wait, let me look this up. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. But does the website no longer exist? Homehorror.com is what it's called, right? Homehorror.com. What about benjaminrivers.com? Unfortunately, they are both. Okay. What if how did we end up at the house? It just doesn't make any sense. Unless we just for some reason our sleepwalking condition just has us drop things around. Like maybe we see or discover something. Let's say that the man is a bad guy and he does whatever, he kills, and his wife is the one that sent the letter. But we just happen to, like, Norman and Rachel just, you know, maybe they're planning a trip, but it's like all the 3 of us and it's not like hidden. Because on the letter that we read through the mail, technically it doesn't say it's from Rachel. It just says it just says that they're gonna tell their husband, and maybe that was how, whatever. Right now, having Rachel's old things and sweater and jacket at his house, that's a little odd. Maybe he just happened to, I don't know. Anyways, I'm trying to see if maybe oh, wait. Is this home? Safe. Secret document, open the safe. All hell, okay. Okay, so I was right. That whatever that code is in the manual. Here, let me show you the manual. There's something. Please don't look at my photo. Please refrain from looking at my photo. Let me click on this guy. Let me click on this guy, and it's gonna be the game manual. I mean, I wish it just wouldn't show the whole thing. No, that just makes it smaller. Crop, maybe. Anyways, doesn't show anything. No. So you'll see here. Let me just zoom this in all the way, and let me make this smaller. So here you'll see the manual. I actually opened and clicked on this before I started the game, and while I was talking about how I was improving. But beware, as you play home, it pays attention. Taking an item isn't always a good thing. Taking an item isn't always a good thing. Okay. Home features no combat, no map, and no inventory screens. It's all about the story. The more you explore, the more you potentially discover. Okay, play environment. Requirements IBM or 100% compatible computer, Windows XP, Vista 7 or 8 with SVGA capable graphics card, hard disk drive, and soundboard. Recommendations: play the game alone with the lights off and with a good set of headphones. So here you'll see this installing the game, and then there's this code. Watch, get, not, break, key turn 012, align bit, if yes, equals N01, nobody is safe. So clearly safe, right? And then downloading or retrieving your copy of Home, check the email you received or drop us a line at support. Okay. Game controls, the game screen, the making of Home, the game screen, making a choice. Much of Home is presented as a series of title cards throughout the game. You'll be asked to make certain choices. When presented with a choice, you'll need to answer yes or no. Here is the tower. Okay. This is a very interesting game, and I do like when they want you to put a little bit of extra effort in trying to find you know, a code, I guess. But oh, is this gonna be one of those like look for a hidden thing? I'll look a little bit more into this, or if anything, I'll just look up a guide. But I think I'm gonna end it here, guys. I really like this game. It was a lot of fun. Where is my game? The game is open. Sorry. Oh, no, don't do that. Dang it. Does Alt Enter do something? Yes, it does. Cool. What's this at the bottom? Do you just see the whole screen? Anyways, as I was saying, I'm gonna end it here. I really hope you enjoyed. I really like this game. I'm gonna play it again tomorrow, get the rest of the achievements, and finish the game and maybe investigate it further. I really like the game a lot. Alrighty, I don't know if I have anything else to say, but I will see you guys in the next one. See ya. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like. I'd appreciate it. Alright, see ya.